class receiving students and teachers. Thank you. You may be seated. Class and receiving students and teachers, this morning I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our first science lesson for grade 7s. And before we go to our lessons, there are 4 of our science teachers. So I'd like to have all those science teachers to come in front so we can introduce ourselves to every one of you out there. So so you will know which teachers will be taking you for science. Thank you. If I can have all the teachers. Okay, class and the receiving students and teachers. My name is Pamela Watlangas, but you will call me Mrs. Watlangas, and I will be taking you for the first week of our science lessons for grade 7s, and I hope you will enjoy the lessons as well as all the other lessons that I will be teaching throughout the year. Thank you.
Students and teachers, my name is Mr. Kanau, and I will also be taking you for science throughout the year.
Hello, receiving students and teachers. I'm Miss Godua. I will be taking you for science for this year. Thank you.
Hello, receiving teachers and students. I am Mr. Koragi, and I will be taking you for science also.
Okay, class, the receiving students and teachers, those are your science teachers for this year. Grade 7s, the class and the receiving students, you will be having 4 teachers teaching you science all throughout the year. Thank you. Now, teachers and the students, as well as the class that we have, our strength for this lesson and for another 16 lessons will be on working scientifically, and our learning outcome is 7.1.1. Now, working scientifically is Unit 1, and the unit title says Skills that Reflect Real Science. Teachers, throughout these 17 lessons, we will be basically looking at skills, the basic science skills. Teachers, you should know all of them. And the activities, some of the activities that we'll be doing will reflect or will involve those basic skills, and that should be able to help our students to be able to understand and know how to use those skills. Now, topic for this lesson is properties of substances. Properties of substances. How can I tell? Now, you are asking that question to yourself, students in the receiving schools as well as the class. When we talk about properties of substances, you ask, how can I tell properties of a substance or properties of substances? And that brings us to the question, how can you tell properties of a substance? How can you tell properties of a substance, students in the receiving school? You can discuss that quickly within your groups and give your answers. Receiving students to your teachers, and the class will give the answers to me. Okay, let's say Francis.
By using your 5 senses.
By using your 5 senses, very good. By using your 5 senses. Now, class, receiving students, let your teacher know what those 5 senses are. Class, what are those 5 senses? Let's have someone to give us all of them if you can. Let me have a girl. Teresa?
Smelling, tasting, touching, feeling, hearing.
Smelling, touching, seeing, touching, and hearing. So those are our 5 senses. And like Francis has said, our 5 senses help us to tell properties of substances or a substance. I hope, receiving students, you have also given that answer to your teachers. Now, what are some of the properties of a substance that you can see? What are some of the properties of a substance that you can see? Okay, let's have JJ.
People.
I don't talk loud.
People. Ball and students.
JJ, if you can clearly so I can hear you and your friends will hear you too.
People and students.
Okay, good try, JJ. Okay, let's have Clement.
Buildings.
Okay,
For example, cars and house.
okay, good. Good try. Now, properties of seeing, I will give you an example. We see something, we are able to see the size of a thing or size of a substance or object. Size is one of the properties that we can see, whether it's big or small. Another property is shape. Shape, color, how heavy or long, that's an example of a substance. So those are just examples of some of the properties: size, shape, color, and how long, how heavy. This is talking about measurement. What we are able to see. Now, smell. I've given you example of some properties that we see using our sense seeing. Now, this is our sense smelling. Who can tell me one of the properties of smelling, or a property of what you can smell? Receiving students, you can give your teacher the answer that you have. Marvin, let's have Marvin.
Food. Food. When we want to eat, we smell, and before we swallow it.
Okay, good, thank you. But try sit down. Can we have a girl? We seem to be having boys only. Ruthie?
Breathing air.
Breathing. Okay. Smell, one of the property, or a property of smell is odor. Whether it smells horrible, or it smells, the smell stinks. Okay, so odor is actually talking about how substance smells, whether it's good smell or bad smell. We have another taste. Taste. We've done see and smell, so that should give you an idea of a property for taste. Marcolin, thank you, we have you.
Sour.
Very good, that's one of the properties, sour. What else? One more, Donald?
Bitter.
Bitter, good. Okay, last one. Darren?
Sweet.
Sweet, very good. Next, touch. 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 Tara?
Shaking hands.
Okay, good. Shaking hands, you feel somebody's hands. So, okay, now touch. We are talking about properties. So, when you shake hands, what do you feel? Help her, Clement.
You feel a hand or you feel each or a hand like cool or hot.
Very good. If the hand is cold or hot, good. Okay, let's have another one. Annie?
Rough.
Rough. Okay, good. There are some there, but we will go to the next. Here, the last one. Agnes?
Feeling rough or soft.
Okay, thank you. Now that's one of the senses of touch. Okay, hear, a sense of hearing. One of the properties, please. Jubilee?
Loud.
Loud, very good. And there are some more there, but we will move on to our next part of the lesson. Now, what we have gone through, those are some of the properties of our 5 senses. And that should help you when you come to our lesson activity, receiving students. I hope you have also done the same with your teachers. And before we go to our lesson activity, we have rules that we must follow, so whatever we expect to do is done well. We have general rules. It's there on the screen. I hope receiving students, you can see that as well as the class. Our second rule, and these are 2 general rules that students you have to take note of. Our safety rules, the first one, if you have brought knives or anything sharp to use it for your activities, please see that rule so it guides you through the activity. Second rule, that's very important, you are not to eat or taste whatever you have brought that cannot be eaten. Okay, during our activity, we will be using all the senses as well as taste, but take note that there are some things that you are not supposed to taste. Okay, that's our last safety rules. Now I'd like you to check the class as well as the receiving students. You check to see that you have all those materials listed with you there on your table. It says a glass of cordial, but you should have it in a container if you're not able to have it in a glass. Half-ripe tomato, and it goes to a small knife. You can use that for cutting your lemon. Now, our activity instruction, teachers in the receiving schools as well as the students, if you do not have the books with you, our science workbooks, our student workbooks with you, you can see the instruction that we have on the screen and follow that to guide you to do the activity for this lesson. Okay, first one, you are to observe each of the substance. Okay, second and third. Second, you identify the different properties of each substance. We have gone through some of those properties earlier in the lesson, so that should help you to go through that. And third, describe the properties of each substance. Complete the table as you carry out your observations. Now, the class, you have your workbooks. So in your workbooks for lesson 1, you should have that table. And as I said earlier, receiving students, if you don't have the workbooks with you, I have the table here for you to see. So that is the table that you should have with you. If you don't have, then receiving students, you can have the table copied into your science workbooks. Now, class and the receiving students, once again, the instruction is there on the screen, as well as the class, you have your workbooks there. I'd like you to turn to the page that has lesson 1, and you follow that instruction and do as it says or as it instructs you. First one, we are to observe each of the substance. Now let's have a look at this. That's a substance I have. To observe, meaning I have to look closely at this substance I have. You are to do the same. When I look closely, I am actually observing this substance or object. Now, second one, to identify the different properties. Now, the property we already saw, the color, it has a variety of colors. Okay, it's black, yellow, pink, red. So that is one of the properties. It's bit rough, the skin of this object is rough. And for me to describe it, I will say, this object looks like a bird. It has a mixture of colors, pink, black, yellow, and red. And when I shake it, it sounds like a little chick or chicken. Okay? So I've given you an example, properties and description. You have to do the same with the objects that you have brought. If there are 5 of you, everyone takes a turn with one of those objects or substance, and you record it in your tables in the worksheet. Okay, let's start now. Toy. Okay. Now, who will be doing the first one? Okay, you have to decide quickly who does the first one. Every one of us should be working now on our activity, observing the object, identifying the properties, then writing the properties in the table where it says properties, and describing. I've given you an example, so that is what you should do, or how you should do your activity. Okay, who is doing the first one? Cordial. Who's doing the cordial? Come on, decide quickly. Somebody will have to do the cordial, somebody does the lemon, somebody the drink, and the toy. It's okay, one of you can do it twice. That is a sense of seeing you used. Any other senses? Taste. Okay, you have to do it. Then you have to. Have you tasted it? Then why are you trying to write the word? Have you finished the first one? Where are your materials? Now you are talking about the cordial. So does it have shape? Has the cordial got shape? I don't think so. It is taking the what? Shape. What did you say? Yeah, very good. It's taking the shape of this container, like she's saying, Tara is saying. See, it doesn't have shape. It's taking the shape of the container. And then you tell your friends, okay, these are the properties I found. Then you write it. And description. How do you describe it? Description, you are putting all of them together, all those properties together and describe it. Okay, you all have to do that because, see, our time is running. You have your toy there. You have a toy there. So which one are you using? That one. Okay, that's okay. So who is working on that? You have your workbooks here. Use this one. Not for you to make another one there. This has been provided for you. Use that. Not that. You have to write in that. That's your book. You write in there. Do you have one? Where? You're silly. See? A class and the receiving students. See, if we try to just all work on one substance, it takes time. So you work together in your groups. If there are 5 or how many of you, you should all try to work individually, work on one of those substances. Whatever information you gather or collect, you share that within your groups and have them copied into your workbook, the table that you have, activity table that you have in your workbooks. Somebody should be on that. You do that one. You work on that. You work on that. Okay. That's okay. Find out what. Okay, put it on top of this. Now each one of you work on it quickly, and then what information you gather, you share it. Like you are doing that one. So, what type of properties do you find in there? Is it size, shape, or whatever? Size? What is it? It's big, small, shape. It's triangle or rectangle, whatever. Okay, does it smell? All those ones. No, their first time and it's taking them long. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. You are to use your 5 senses to identify the properties. We've already done an example, and that should help you. We've also gone through some examples of properties of those 5 senses. So you should be able to, with those we have gone through, should help you to get that table completed. Okay, very good. You said it smells good. What about the shape? That's another observation you are seeing shape. And then when you describe it, is how you can put that one there. See? That's in here. When you describe it, that's what you are going to write here. This one you write, come to the description of properties. That is where you are going to write like this over here. It's already time. Okay, we stop now and go through activity quickly. We see what you have come up with, the class as well as the receiving students. Now we have cordial, half-ripe tomato, lemon, laundry soap, canned drink, and toy as our substance to identify the properties and describe those properties. Let's have Donald's group to give us the first one. If you can, one of you stand up and give us your findings. Okay, this group, you get ready for the second one. Half-ripe tomato. This one, lemon. Okay, that one over there, laundry soap, canned drink, and toy. Stand where you are and you give us what you have there with you. Yes, Donald? You can look at it. The other groups, I'd like you to get ready for your substance. When it comes to your turn, I'd like one of you to give us what you have.
Lemon. Lemon tastes bitter, sour. It smells nice. It's round. It has colors, different colors, green and yellow.
Okay, good. Thank you, Donald. Okay, lemon. Who was supposed to give us which group? Then you are going to give me cordial because Donald has already given lemon. Thank you, Donald. Let's have the next one for tomato. Like Donald has done. Receiving students, I hope you are also doing the same. Please, other groups, I'd like you to get ready with what you are to share with others.
This is an object called tomato. It is round. It has different colors, red and green. It is sour and it's soft.
Very good. Let's have the next one for cordial.
This is a cordial. Usually it's filled in a container and it has a variety of color and it comes in, it tastes good and the colors are red, orange, yellow, and they are flavored in different sorts of foods.
Good, thank you, Lisa. Let's have the next one. Can drink. Can drink.
This is an object, and it has it doesn't have any shape, but it's shaped as the object that is outer part. And the description of the property is it's gray, yellow, white, red, and black, and it's a type of liquid that people take and taste to it.
Good, thank you. Let's have the group in the corner there with toy.
This toy gun, it can make noise like real sound of gun when people fired, and it can be happen. Light which color is red and green.
Very good, thank you. I think that's all with all those substances. Teachers in the receiving schools, if you're not able to have that activity completed during the lesson, you can try to have your own time later today to get that lesson completed, especially the activity. Now, summary, we have only 2 points. The first one, it says, our 5 senses help us to tell how a substance smells, looks, feels, tastes, and sounds like. If you can get a copy quickly into your workbooks, students in the receiving school as well as the class, in your science workbooks. Now the second point, different substances have different properties, and that's what makes them different from all other substances. Half-ripe tomato is very different from lemon. Lemon is also very different from laundry soap. Laundry soap is very different from canned drink. This is all because they all have different properties. What you can do to help yourself to copy those 2 points in your group, have one person to copy the first point, the other one you copy the second point. So when you come together, you can help each other. The one who copied the other gives the other one, and you copy the one that you did not copy into your workbooks. In that way, we will be able to get those 2 points done quickly. Our key phrase for this lesson, different substances, different properties. Example, we have a yellow flower. It's soft and it smells like a perfume. That's the description of that flower. That kettle, that's a substance or object. description, a metal kettle, it's smooth and it's hot. Our next lesson, class, the receiving students and teachers, is on observations made clear and the materials that you will need are different types of plants, teachers in the receiving schools, before the lesson, you can go around your classroom or maybe in the environment that is closer to your school and look for plants. There has to be different plants for each group. How many groups that you have in your class? You identify plants that your students can work on. Or it could be, if you have plants already in plant pots, you can also use those ones too. And with that, thank you, class, receiving students and teachers, for your participation.